Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to not Spin from the Real, but Spin from the Real adjacent. We are spinning with class. My name is Chris Anthony Lopez, and it is a Wap Boy summer, especially now that I got my boy Suge with me here. Suge, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? Of course, I mean, if you're going to talk about class, you're going to have me on. But no, but yeah, of course, man. We're starting a new kind of show to talk some of the to the FCL competitors, especially the ones that are trying to get their name out there. People like late to the
Right.
party. You know, jo- uh, Mr. Knight. Who shares a name with me. There's,
Right,
there's a
right.
bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. But we're going to talk to two tonight that I'm very interested to talk to.
Right. So we will have Nick Harley on the show later because our first guest today, he's one of the top dogs at FCL. I feel like I talk about it every Tuesday when we do our stereos. By the way, of course, follow us on stereo, Suge Knight 323, CA Lopez FCS. Thank you so much. We do FCL recaps on Tuesdays, but every Tuesday I feel like I hype my man up because I've been a fan of this dude since I met him. This is my buddy right here. This is my dude, and he is the Dynasty, the first main event of FCL. It is the one and the only, the Dynasty. David Campbell. Yo, David, what is up, brother? You good, dude?
It is so good to be here with you, Chris, with you, Suge. It's amazing to come onto this show as your first guest. The first main event star of the FCL is here, and I am excited to talk about the journey that I've been on up until this point. The journey of the FCL is continuing, the dynasty continues to build, and it's been one heck of a ride so far.
I bet, dude. You are absolutely killing it in the FCL. But this isn't your first time on What Real Entertainment. You were on it a few months ago, like before you really took over the dynasty over there with what you got going on. But you were just a little like a David Campbell popping up on Spin from the Real, and you wanted to put your name out there. And unfortunately, through the initial draft, you didn't get selected, and somehow, some way, you made every manager regret it within minutes because you were the one name where people are like, "Where the hell is David Campbell?" How was that whole night for you? That whole day for you, really? Because I bet it just boiled over into the next day.
Yeah, I didn't sleep a lot because it was very late as it was. As you can imagine, everything with me
Right,
is very late at night.
right.
It was one of those things where when I came into the draft, no one had a clue who I was. No one had heard of David Campbell before. I got in purely off the strength of my audition, not from any prior work or prior name. And I just had to give it my all to even give me a slight chance of getting drafted. And the thing was, I was this close. I was so close to it. I think what held me back in the end was the international thing. Like Jacob Blunden ended up being the only international competitor who's played this far that got drafted in the movie Trivia Schmodown. Look at the likes of Sonny and Kat also didn't get drafted. So I do think that had a role to play in it. But I couldn't help but be pissed off a wee bit because I wanted it so much. I've been a fan for a long time. But thankfully, I soon found out that the FCL was going to be a thing and that Brad and Christian, everyone involved, wanted me to be a player in the FCL. And it all went uphill from there. And I've very much been enjoying being a part of building this league from the ground up.
Yeah, for sure, David. You made your rounds. A lot of people were impressed with you. Like you said, you weren't drafted, but the first match you made a statement with your first match and really caught the eyes of people. And like Chris said, a lot of people were regretting not drafting you, possibly because you are international. But how since now you have the name the Dynasty, because that obviously, like Chris said, you were just David Campbell.
Yeah.
What how does it feel now that your name is probably the big, because I've been putting some praise out there about you too. How does it feel to be one of the big names of the FCL now? Up there.
It definitely is a responsibility that I didn't take lightly. When Brad said, I want you to be the first main event match in the FCL, that's something that I was very proud to say, but also something that there was a lot of pressure on me to perform. And like you said, Shug, I proved all doubters wrong. People who said there's no game tape in this guy, there's now game tape. I'm 1-0. And I said it after I won that match. I am the top of the mountain as far as I'm concerned in the FCL. That's no ego. That's just down to the fact that I believe I'm the best. And if anyone wants to prove me wrong, they can come and beat me. You know, it's as simple as that. If I want to continue being put in these big situations, if I want to continue being top of the mountain, I need to keep winning. So the pressure is always on.
And we were a few weeks removed from your match from Cooper Barnes, about a month out, right? So your match with Cooper, like you said, like you were announced as the first main event, and it was against a celebrity. And celebrities in the Schmodown or in the FCL, Schmodown adjacent, they're real polarizing characters.
Yeah.
Because it's either they get it or they don't get it, and they're just there for the trivia thing. And with what I don't know if you knew ahead of time, like if you're like, oh, like you're gonna face Cooper, and you're like, well, damn it, okay. Like what was your thought process when you found out that you were gonna face Cooper Barnes of all people instead of like another fan or another reactor like yourself?
I think it's interesting because when draft night happened and I saw the likes of Jericho go and other people who I'm looking at and thinking they're being drafted because of their names, and I think I could beat them in a movie trivia match. Then when Cooper got announced, I was like, okay, here's my chance to, prove myself right in that regard. Having said that, Cooper Barnes is not a celebrity player. Cooper Barnes is a player in the FCL with a capital P. He came to play. And I wasn't taking him lightly, because if you try and take any opponent lightly, you've lost the match already. But Cooper went 7 for 8 in round 1, matched me there. Cooper lost because he had to go to multiple choice in round 2. That 5-pointer he got was a pretty difficult 5-pointer. I personally have not seen hardball, So Cooper Barnes on any given day, I think, could beat other top dogs in the FCL. Having said that, he better hope he doesn't have a rematch with me, because I will beat him for a second time.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence in David. Now, David, after that match, you've done some cutscenes. You've been talking to William Bibiani. Even you've been doing a lot of studying. How are you prepping for? How are you prepping? Just staying loose and being ready to go again.
I think you need to stay match ready. I've done a training session now with Sonny and Kat, which was fun. We had a nice little session together. I've been studying movies, filmography, shooting up in weaknesses. I have not stopped since that win, because I think if you're in this league, you need to be constantly prepared for when your next match is going to be. I didn't know how soon it was going to come. I didn't know that certain people would be putting my name in their mouths, which I'm sure we'll get to later. And I was going to have to step back in before people had played their very first match. But I'm constantly living movies. It's my passion. It's the thing that I get excited about. I host a film podcast. I try and watch a movie, every night and stay active and involved in the community and what's going on and what's coming out. So it's sort of a natural thing by osmosis, but I've also been putting in that work to make sure that I'm keeping up to match levels of readiness.
And I know, like, we, at least the two of us here on Spinning with Class, we're obviously no stranger fans of your work. Like we talk about the dynasty and how one day I hope to be a part of this dynasty, and we'll talk about that later, David. But with what you have going on, and you're, like you say, you're studying with Sonny and Kat, also friends of the channel. We love Sonny and Kat over here.
Great people.
And yes, they're fantastic. And we see a lot of scrutiny from, at least initially, from fans. You were the part of the first show, and some fans may have lost the message in translation. Maybe it's like, hey, these questions, like, they may not be MTS 5. Like your 5-pointer isn't going to be a movie trivia spun on 5-pointer. Like, how was that reaction to you? Because you were the second match for the first main event. All the eyes were on you. You're answering all these questions, and the chat's out here like, oh, that's too easy. Oh, that's all this. What was your reaction to that when you first saw it?
I think the beautiful thing about the Schmodown is that it gets people passionate, and people wouldn't be critical if they didn't love this game and everything that entails, first of all. Second thing, I'll say that PLD is one of the best people that I've met in this space, and I think he does a great job as a writer. The people who are saying that are hardcore fans of the MTS, and I think what they're forgetting is when you look at the rookie matches that have been played in the MTS proper at the start of this season, I would say they're on the same level difficulty, because they want to make sure that you're getting an entertaining match. They haven't seen these people play. They hadn't seen me play. They hadn't seen Cooper play. So there's no point coming out the gate with a Dan Burrow versus Adam Collins level, round 1 or round 2, because you don't know if they're up to that level yet. I personally think that the FCL has done a great job. It's above my station to truly comment on it. I'm there to play. I'm there to answer the questions that are put in front of me to the best of my ability. But just my 2 cents, I think the PLD and the team over there do a fantastic job with that side of it.
Seconded.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to disagree with you there, David. I don't think PLD is a good person at all. I personally don't like him. And I personally, no. I love PLD. PLD is amazing. Do not take my words out of content. But you're talking about how great the rookies are playing, and I said this on the show the other day, David, and I kind of want to just get your thought. I said, look, David to me looks legit, and if he was in the Schmodown right now, I think he'd be a good player.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put you championship caliber. I'm just gonna say you're good. You're gonna be a good player. But I think the best thing for you was ending up in the FCL because now you get to play. And Brad talked about it that there's going to be a championship. If you become the champion, play out the year and end the year as the champion, you possibly could be a number 1 pick. A number 1 round pick. I won't say the number 1 pick, but number 1 round to a number 2 round pick in the Schmodown. So even though you weren't drafted, what do you see with the upside with playing in the FCL?
To address that, Suge, it's interesting because I see people like Late to the Party and Jared Habon and the likes, and this is no criticism to them, but they're saying I want to prove something to get back to the Schmodown. The way I see it, my sole focus right now is on the first class league because this is where my home is. I said at the time, Brad Gilmore won the draft. He got David Campbell. But I truly mean that because I really do care about this league and I really do care about making it the best league it can be. And you're right, Shug, that championship's there to be won. That championship, there has to be a first champion. Everyone remembers that Mark Riley was the first singles champion of the MTS. He holds reverence and he holds status in the league to this day because of that historical significance. I want to be that guy for the FCL. I want to be the first champion. I want them to have to pay a postage fee to send that belt across the water so I can hold it in Glasgow, Scotland. That's what I want to happen. And I'm very focused on doing that. And that is my sole focus right now. I'm not really interested in anything beyond that. When it happens, great. We'll deal with it then. But the FCL and that singles title, most importantly, that's the eyes and the prize that I've got right now.
Yeah, and before we came on camera, you were actually talking about it. You were talking about NXT, and we're wrestling fans. Chris is a big host of the wrestling podcast. I love wrestling, have been since I was a kid. And you talked about NXT, and right now, if you're a wrestling fan, even though WWE is big, it's SmackDown and Raw, NXT is probably one of their best products. And so I think it's safe to say you're trying to do the same for the Schmodown, where it's like when people think of the Schmodown, they also think of the FCL because they go, hey, there's people over there that are pretty good that can play, and I like to watch them too, not just the regular Schmodown league. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, totally. What's great about the FCL right now, with a few exceptions, like I said, we'll get to them later, everyone is dedicated to this league. Everyone's dedicated to making sure that this is the place people want to watch. We want to beat each other, but we also want to make this as entertaining for the fans as possible. We want to put on a great level of movie trivia for the fans to watch and play along with. We want to be the place to watch every Tuesday night live on Twitch. It's a great thing. It's the NXT of the MTS for a reason. We're offering something that's an alternative to the movie trivia Schmodown. Yes, you don't have factions down in the first class league. That's for a reason. It's to build up these individuals and these individual characters and storylines that you're going to see. And I think that the people behind the scenes have done a great job of it, but I also think that we as competitors have done a great job at doing that so far.
And yeah, for sure. Like all of y'all have definitely brought it to y'all bring it. Every single one of you guys, whether it's Corinne and Habon to start this whole thing, all the way to what we saw on Tuesday with Gallego and Montano. Every match in between, there's something to take away from it. And yeah, I know some people like to give other people flack because I hate the idea of but I knew that, I know, we get it, right? The questions are subjective. It is what it is. But at every match, there's been something to take away, whether it's from the competitors themselves. You not only you took the W, but the dynasty was born that day. Like it was like that day. Like David Campbell's not here. He's not here to mess around. He's here to win and to rule and reign over the FCL. But your kingdom, that is the FCL, and who has competed so far, or maybe you know some folks who haven't competed so far. But what's your landscape on the competition, whether it's a Montano, a Gallego, or a Furtado? You know, like he's been making a name for himself, even though my man may have taken a loss to Robert Adams, another really quality player. He's still the talk of the town, getting suspended nonetheless.
I mean, I was about to say suspended, so it doesn't matter if I want to play him or not. You know, I can't until Brad Gilmore decides it's time to bring the guy back. But you look at the level of competition in the FCL right now, is you look at Vanessa and Robert, what they did this week, late to the party, showed that anyone who's sleeping on them is a fool, an utter fool. They are the team that beat critically acclaimed. Need I remind anyone? You look at Robert Adams and the impressive debut that he had. You look at the wise guy. What a character that was.
Right.
As well, I am lucky to be surrounded by some movie trivia geniuses. I'm lucky to be surrounded by some really entertaining people. And I'm going to be absolutely privileged to be their first champion because I have a great roster around me when I do that.
Word, dude. And with what the dynasty is doing, like obviously you gotta at least appreciate what y'all are doing over there. All of you guys, like the few people who have competed so far, like, and I sound like a broken record, but if the song's good, keep playing it, you know? Like if like the FCL is the NXT of the Schmodown, then damn it, like I think the FCL has legs, and it will, and maybe, I don't know how Christian would feel about this, but it may one day eclipse the Schmodown in certain aspects. Maybe not viewers, because like it is on Twitch, but maybe like in quality. I think the quality's been great. I love what you guys have been doing. You've been getting involved with William Bibiani out here. He's trying to pitch you his soaps. I hope he did send you some soaps.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the soaps. I think they're coming across the pond at some point, you know, so we'll see what happens. But great advice. Every champion needs soaps, you know.
Right, but like there's a little incident that you may have had. Like I know that like you took your W and it was fantastic. Great match of Cooper Barnes. What a great guy. Cooper Barnes, great guy. But then we had a match where it was John Knight, the collector.
Great guy.
Yeah, and the spoiler, Nick Harley.
Not a great guy.
Why do you say that? Can I ask why? Because I know y'all been spatting with one another. Like, why? Where's this disdain for Nick Harley come from?
Well, he decided to call me out, first of all, Chris. You know, he's the one who started all this. But second of all, you talked to me before the draft. Like, you know how big a fan I was of the movie Trivia Schmodown. Yeah. And I said it in my first promo, I don't really care if I'm liked or cared if I'm hated. I'm here to win. But what I do care about is that the fans know I respect them, because I was one of them. I respect that they love this game so much. Even the ones who complain about easy questions and the like, they do that because they love to watch this game and they want to see it the best they can be. Nick Harley will never, ever understand that. Ever. He just simply does not get it. He's coming in here with this attitude. Nick Harley only cares about Nick Harley. And I care about winning. The Dynasty obviously cares about winning, but also care what's good for the league in the FCL. Nick Harley is a poison. He's an utter poison to the FCL. And his attitude, if that is the type of attitude that you're going to set the course for a competitor to have, the FCL won't last. We need to get rid of it as soon as possible. And
wow, you said he's a poison to the FCL, and he did best John Knight, and maybe that's where this whole thing comes from. But he did call you out. And I mean, not to rain on your parade or rain in your kingdom, David, but we are joined by the other guest for this show today, and it happens to be the spoiler himself, Nick Harley.
Oh my God! Poison! I love the sound of that. Hey, David, how's it going there, Pally?
Tally. Oh, I honestly despise you with every fibre of my being, Nick Harley. I hope you know that, my man. Take those sunglasses off. I can see my reflection in those massive turd. What are you even doing here right now? Honest
You
to
see
God.
your own reflection in them and you're turned off, did you say? Oh, buddy, have a little self-love.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Nick. I'm actually glad that you're here because I wanted to ask you one simple question. It's an easy question. Even you should be able to get it. Why on earth did you think it was a good idea to call out the main event of the FCL? Was it because you wanted to elevate yourself from the undercard? Or was it because you're actually delusional enough to think you can beat me? Please try and answer this question because I've been racking my brain trying to figure it out.
David, you should be flattered that I called you out. And not because you have the privilege of playing against the spoiler, but because, David, I simply think you're the best of the FCL. Take the compliment. You are the best they have to offer. Look at you. You got your movie posters on the walls. You're on Twitter daily just talking about the triumph of cinema and film. And I'm going to take down the very best of the FCL to show them, to prove to them that the days of film supremacy over television, it's simply over. That time has ended, and movie trivia will go extinct with it. Like the way of the dinosaur, David, you call me a poison. No, call me the asteroid. Call me the meteor because I am crashing into the Schmodown and I am obliterating everything in my sight.
It's far too late for me to have to deal with this UK time, Chris and Suge, as you'll understand. But just before I go, Nick, I did call you a poison. And as they sang, every rose has its thorn. You're nowhere near as pretty as a rose. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make you bleed when I beat you in the FCL. Gentlemen, good night. I've had enough.
Thanks. Thank you,
Bye, David.
Thank you, David, for coming on Spinning with Class. I like to think that he likes you, but joining us now officially, he is 1-0 in the First Class League. He is the spoiler, Nick Harley. What's going on?
Party. How's it going, fellas?
Doing good, man. How are you doing today?
We're rocking.
Oh, I am doing splendid.
I mean, Nick, I have to. I feel like I have to ask you, at least to start, because you came on the scene and you were, you faced against John Knight, two guys who were relatively new to the Schmodown space. Well, like, how did you come across the Schmodown? Did someone point you in the right direction, or did you see that movie trivia was getting a spotlight and you needed to dim it, if you know what I mean?
Listen, I take every opportunity that I can to bring movies down to where they should be. So when I saw the movie Trivia Schmodown trending on Twitter, top views on YouTube, I decided that I needed to go in there and educate these people. Let them know that the movie industry is dying. It is on its last breath. And I'm here to take the pillow over it and just slowly push it down.
Oh, really?
Wow. That's the big words coming from the spoiler. Suge, did you have anything for Nick Harley?
I mean, I think a lot of people have some things for him. The way he's talking about movies. I mean, what are you so despised with movies for, Nick? What has movies done to you?
Listen, David the Dynasty Campbell says that I need to learn respect. That I need to learn to watch the way that I talk about films. Why should I respect movies when movies don't respect us? I mean, what's the top film at the box office right now? A film about a giant lizard fighting a giant ape? I mean, sure, I know you have kids. I know you're an adult man. They don't make cinema for adults anymore. It doesn't happen. Everything that goes to the top of the box office is adapted from picture books for kids, okay? Not there's no more adult dramas. There are no modestly budgeted legal thrillers. We are not crafting a next generation of movie stars. What we are crafting are prestige TV dramas, enthralling limited series. All of our favorite movie actors and actresses are moving to TV. They've read the tea leaves. They know what's happening. You know what I was enjoying before I hopped on with you gentlemen? I was enjoying the first episode of Mayor of Easttown, the new HBO series with Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet, okay, used to be, well, for a period of time, in the highest grossing film of all time, until a movie about a bunch of men in tights slugging at each other replaced it. Kate Winslet has gone from starring in big budget films to moving to TV, because that's where the compelling characters are. That's where the stories are today.
Oh, wow. I can't lie. I am flabbergasted at the words coming out of your mouth. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said I can't disagree. Television does have some perks. They do. It is, we spend more time with characters. We flesh them out a little bit more.
Character development, Chris. Character development.
Yes. And Nick, I think you are doing some great developing of your own in the FCL. Like, first of, and congratulations on your win, by the way. Congratulations on your W against John Knight. What was your, like, I know you've been so anti-movies, but how did you prepare yourself for a movie trivia competition if you're not the biggest fan of, I don't know, the namesake movies?
Well, I watched a lot of television documentaries about film, and that's how I prepared for the Schmodown. I watched a lot of made-for-TV anthologies and best of films, so I could get an idea of these silly 90 to 120 minute vehicles. And once I did, I came to the Schmodown. I came to the FCL, and I showed John Knight that maybe he doesn't know as much as he thinks he does, okay? And John Knight, he'll tell you that I didn't beat him, that he beat himself. But last time I checked, these are two-person matches, all right? And at the end of the match, I had more points than John. Therefore, I beat John Knight. He didn't beat himself. This isn't some journey into the self that I took him out. He lost. He got the questions wrong. I got the questions right. Okay? And I would prefer to be left out of whatever little drama is brewing up between Knight and Andrew Furtado, which don't even get me started on him. So I'm focused clearly on the future here, and that is David Campbell, okay? And like I said, I have a lot of respect for David's game, okay? I have a lot of respect. The guy seems to know his stuff. He did beat television's own Cooper Barnes, who I was really rooting for. He was carrying the flag for us. However, David Campbell, he has a lot of skill. I mean, what else is there to do in Scotland except for tend to the sheep and watch movies, okay? He's got nothing better to do with his time. It's raining all the time. The sun never shines. I mean, come on. He would never need a pair of sunglasses. What would he need them for? To look at himself in the reflection? He clearly didn't like that earlier, so...
Very, very true. He did say he wanted you to take the sunglasses off. But my question, Nick, is you're only talking about David Campbell, but look at people like Late to the Party who won this last past FCL, who have played in the Schmodown. You don't have respect for them, Vanessa or Robert?
Late to the party. That's exactly what they are. They're late to the party, okay? The big stars of the FCL have already arrived. they are here right now. So I'm not going to concern myself with late to the party or anybody else that may be showing up between now and the time that I face David Campbell. Then I'll look to see who's next, who's trending in the right direction, you know. And I am happy that certain people decided not to take a shot at me. You know, the wise guy, maybe he is a wise guy because he looked at me and he said, I don't want any part of that. He called out Jared, who, you know, do people even remember that he was the first FCL winner? No, they don't, because something better and shinier came along that made them forget. And that's right here.
Oh, really?
No.
Even though David Campbell wasn't on that card, you're gonna say that wow.
Well, David, you know, like I said, David Campbell, big, bright, shining star. That's why he got my attention first.
No, totally. And I mean, with what the both of you have done, you guys have taken the FCL and you guys are elevating it in some way, shape, or form. But for you, what it sounds like is that you're taking it just so you can body slam it to the ground and knock it down. And maybe one day, when we get the television trivia schmodown, whenever that is, or if we get the FCL TV edition, whatever they do, I feel like you'd be the first guy. Maybe you and TV's Cooper Barnes could do something. But I mean, you and is Cooper the only person you like in this whole league? Like, I know you respect a lot of people. Do you like anybody else besides Cooper Barnes?
Look, I have respect. I like David. David, come on, buddy, pal, come over, come to the States. I'll show you what a real meal is. But you know, as far as other competitors in the FCL, look, I'm entertained by some of them, if that's what you're asking. I don't know what you mean by like. Do I like anyone else? You know, as far as I can tell, I'm not very popular, and I'm fine with that, okay? I don't need any more friends. What I do need is more W's in the win column, and I continually will do that as I face down every single competitor in the FCL, okay? It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're TV's Cooper Barnes or if they're David Campbell. I am going to take them out all the same. And you may think, oh, what does this guy even know about movies? I am a sponge. I am soaking up information at a rate that most people can't even fathom. Okay, and I am going to take all of that information and I am going to use that to do exactly like you said, to body slam the FCL, to put it in submission. You know, speaking of submission, I don't know if you watched WrestleMania, but Bobby Lashley, he took Scotsman Drew McIntyre and he put him in the hurt lock and he made him pass out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do to David Campbell. I am going to make a Scotsman pass out, okay? Call me Bobby Lashley.
That's wow. Yo, Bobby Lashley, current WWE champion too. So you must be having championship aspirations. If given the opportunity, like, is a title match something you're looking forward to? Because I mean, that's if you want to take this down from the bottom up, but is a championship even in your sights? I know you have the sunglasses on, but is a championship in your future?
You know, a championship match. I would love the chance to be the first FCL champion so I could show everyone just what a joke the whole endeavor is. I mean, me, a guy that doesn't even like movies, as your inaugural champion. I mean, what could be better than that, Chris? What could be more fitting? That would be the perfect way to keep my mission going. Okay, and you say, you know, that I'm just looking to harm the movie industry and to bring it down. I couldn't harm the movie industry any worse than the Chinese viewing audience and the reliance on their box office numbers has hurt the movie industry already. If the movie doesn't star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and some sort of 50-foot reptile, then no one's seeing it, okay? So I couldn't hurt the movie industry worse than it's already hurting itself.
You're muted, Suge. Just that's
wow. Sorry, my bad. Wow, this woo, you're saying a lot, and I think you're starting to hit some buttons. We have Jesse Swift in the chat, and he's saying some things. He's saying he asked about if he missed Dynasty. Yes, he did, because David got a little annoyed with somebody on the program. Then he said, wasn't Harley the name of the annoying twerp from Iron Man 3? And then he goes on to say,
movies.
He said, Nick the Sponge, what a rep. Jesse Swift currently is in the movie trivia Schmodown in the IG division. But Nick, I mean, I still don't understand, man. If you don't like movies, you just decided I'm going to join a movie trivia just to take it down. That's your whole angle in this situation. Is just you just want to take everybody out because you don't like movies.
Have you been listening, Suge? Of course, that's what I've been saying. Come on.
Well, I'm just asking because it's just it doesn't make any sense, Nick. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, let me just say, in the comments here, we have someone saying that a dynasty is everlasting. Clearly, someone has never been in a history class, because I can name a couple dynasties that didn't last, okay? And David Campbell is going to be one of them. But, excuse me, back to your question. What's the end goal here? It's to wake everybody up. It's to tell everyone the truth that they don't want to hear, that the days of the film industry being relevant and being the place for where artists go to express themselves is gone away, and it's not coming back. It has migrated to TV, okay? And that's where you're gonna find all of the most compelling stories and information, and you can read about it all when I put my pen to the paper and write about TV, the supreme visual storytelling medium, okay? That's what's important. I'm pushing that message forward, and I will not stop waving that flag until the FCL has been burnt down and I am standing in its ashes.
Wow. Look, I mean, wow, Nick, I'd be lying if I said this is not how I thought this talk was going to go. I wasn't. I knew you were anti-film, but I didn't know you were so anti-cinema. But I know you're right.
That word even mean anymore? Okay, what, a movie that you watch in your home on your couch, where you're occasionally looking at your text messages and your tweets, where you're tweeting out your review of the film before you've even finished it, before the credits have even rolled. Okay, this is a joke. There's a reason why nobody really cares about movies anymore, and it's because movies have left them behind. All they make are films for children, okay? Films for children and foreign audiences. They have stopped caring about what American cinema used to mean, what filmmakers like Martin Scorsese and John Cassavetes and other brilliant auteurs used to make. I guarantee you, we are days away from Martin Scorsese announcing his first limited feature. Oh, wait, excuse me. He already made his first limited feature. It was called The Irishman, and you could find it on Netflix, not in your local Cineplex, okay?
Nick.
All right, well, I'm assuming you're not going to be watching Mortal Kombat this weekend then.
Mortal Kombat. Don't even get me started about video games, the absolute lowest form of entertainment.
Oh, I'm so glad there's not a video game trivia Schmodown, but I do not. I don't envy.
That is my sensibilities that we are on Twitch. Okay, Twitch. Oh my God. What is this world coming to? Okay.
What do you got against Twitch, Nick?
You know what's worse than video games? What's worse than movies? It's user-generated content.
Oh, man.
C-word content.
Oh. Wow. He's over here disrespecting.
Disrespect you guys, but
you because we put out content for the Schmodown. I do Twitch, Chris does Twitch, and you're just gonna come at us like that? Nick?
We're on Twitch right now as we speak.
Yeah, we are on Twitch, so you're on something you don't like.
Nick, I'm so sorry. We should have informed you ahead of time. If I would have known, I would have taken the stream down on Twitch. Because I'm all about
get nauseous any more than I already am.
I'm so sorry, but I mean, look, Nick, before we let you go, your match with David Campbell is obviously the talk of the town. He accepted your challenge. The both you guys will be facing off against one another in the first class league at some point in the near future. But any parting words for anybody in the chat that may have a problem with the spoiler, anybody in the league that may have a problem with the spoiler, any fan who may come across this later that has a problem with what Nick Harley is doing, any final words?
And also your thoughts on Subway.
My thoughts on Subway? Sure, fine. Subway, eat fresh. But
got it.
Anyway, as far as David Campbell and the rest of the FCL and the fans go, okay, listen, every negative thing that you say about me, every name that you throw at me, every time that you tell me that I'm wrong or that I'm a blowhard or that I'm, disrespecting the movie Trivia Schmodown, all that you're doing is adding fuel to the fire. You are entertaining me. You can't out-troll a troll. I will only laugh. I will only laugh at you, okay? So please, I make my haters my motivators. I am the spoiler, and I am here to spoil it all for you all of the time. So let me know that you don't like me, because that makes me know that I'm doing my job right.
Well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining us on the first episode of Spitting with Class. I appreciate the time.
You guys have been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know what? For you, I'm gonna go watch some TV after this, if that's okay.
It sounds like a great plan. I advise you all to.
See, and that's everyone. Nick Harley, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Harley, the spoiler for the first class league and what he has going on. But that's going to be it for us here, Suge.
Yeah,
I mean,
our first. Yeah, it's our first episode. This was kind of thrown together because we got some information about the match, and so we wanted to do this. But we definitely will have get it tightened up. Two big characters too. Wow. But is he lying? Is he speaking facts?
Suge, I'm so glad you said it. You took the words right out of my mouth. I love David Campbell. As David had said, him and I, we spoke before the draft. Him and I became good buddies, and I'm a big fan of the Dynasty. But Nick does bring up some great points, man. Like some fantastic points. And with what's going on in the Schmodown right now, I think Nick Harley, I don't think he's a bad presence in the league. And maybe he can if he can exploit the bad so we can change it for the better, then I think Nick Harley is going to be beneficial to first class and maybe the movie Trivia Schmodown proper.
Yeah, sometimes you always need a bad guy. Somebody's got to be the bad guy. And Nick decided he wants to be the bad guy, and he's okay with it. I'm okay with that. I cannot wait to see these two play each other in the build-up. Oh, right. I cannot wait to see them play each other. And then what happens afterwards? What happens if Nick beats David?
Right. It's a great question. What if Nick beats David? Like, what if Nick Harley spoils the Dynasty before the Dynasty can continue its reign in the FCL? That's another big thing. What if, David Campbell, if the Dynasty takes another victim in the spoiler, how will that affect the spoiler? So, Danny Costa,
right, Danny?
What's up, Danny? He wears sunglasses, instant bad guy.
Instant bad guy, yep.
Right. And thank you so much. for the great first step. We really appreciate it. But that's going to do it for us here today on Spinning with Class. Thank you all so much for checking us out. We really do appreciate y'all coming by, stopping by, talking some FCL. Truly. I mean, we're going to try and make this just an interview show to put a spotlight on first class competitors, but maybe one day our stereo show will have to become Spinning with Class. We'll see. We'll announce that when the time comes. But in the meantime, of course, check out our stereo show after first class. The second first class ends every Tuesday. I was going to say Thursday. Today's Thursday. Tuesday. The second the broadcast ends, we're on stereo. C.A. Lopez, FCS. That's you can find me on stereo. Suge Knight 323 on stereo. And we do our show every Tuesday. The second FCL ends. Come and check us out there. And of course, here when we have our interviews for Spinning with Class. Suge, anything else you want to plug before we go, brother?
No, well, I want to plug we're probably going to, we got a big show on Saturday.
You're
the
damn
Free
right.
For All after party. Yeah, get ready for that one. Cannot wait for this. We have some guests coming on to hang out with us. Yeah, we are going to talk about the Free For All and what happens, but it's going to be hanging out and just having a good time and hanging out with friends. And then Monday, we have a big show Monday for Spin for the Real. So make sure you check that out with us. I think after this, I might do some streaming on Twitch, just playing a little Magic, hanging out because until I go to my job interview. So if you want to come hang out with me, you can do that. Other than that, you can find me on Suge Knight 323 and on Twitch, Suge Knight 123. And check me out on TikTok where I do match previews. Just dropped Jacob London's and Jacoby Burkhart's today. I'll be dropping Ben Goddard's and JT's later on tonight. Make sure you hit that follow. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so I can go live. I am at 340, 336, something like that. So make sure if you do have TikTok, follow me on there. Appreciate everybody that comes and hangs out with us. Once again, this is our first episode. We're going to tighten it up. We're going to get it better, but it's not going to be a long show. We're just going to shoot the shit with different FCL people, personalities and get a spotlight on them. So that way they can talk about their matches, talk about what they're doing, and you get to know them better. So appreciate all you guys. And what about you, Chris?
Yo, like what Suge was saying, we have our free-for-all thing this Saturday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We will have our Spin from the Real free-for-all 4 after show. That is going down this Saturday. Come hang out with us there. We're talking a bunch of free-for-all, talking Schmodown. We have a bunch of guests that I think we can start announcing now. It is Thursday. We're going to have guests such as Taylor Robinson and Jacob London. Jacob London, a guy who just had his match today. He'll be joining us. Paige for Betty, friend of the channel, friend of Spin from the Real. She'll be a part of the show as well. And we will have so many friends from multiple aspects of the Schmodown. We may have some behind-the-scenes personalities come on our show. We may have some managers pop up on our show. Who knows? Come hang out with us right here on this channel. Spin from the Real after show, free-for-all 4. We're going down 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And, of course, follow us down at the bottom for all of our social medias. Matt, who also does Spin from the Real with us every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, where this upcoming Monday, we'll have Robert Parker on the program. We'll have Adam Collins on the program. 2 guys who are relatively new to the Schmodown, but they're making big waves and they're loud as hell. And they're going to be on the show this upcoming Monday for the whole time. They're going to be hanging out with us the whole show, talking some Schmodown. We're going to talk to Robert and his process of the dungeon. Talk to Adam Collins and what he's doing with corruption. We have a lot of fun stuff going on here at Spin from the Real. And I mean, Suge, it's almost as if we have a guardian angel like blessing us with his presence in the background. We may or may not have some new special things already in the pipeline for the future of Spinning with Class. So for Suge Knight 323 and my boy Suge, my name is Chris Anthony Lopez. It is a Watt Boy summer over here at Watt Real Entertainment. And we will see you guys next time. And don't forget, spin from the real, not from the pegs. But this time, spin with class. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.